Imagine you had a real-life holodeck. I mean, you'd probably never leave it, would you? But imagine you went into the holodeck and you said, "Computer, produce a new superhero film by extrapolating on previous superhero films made in the past few years, using them as an inspiration." Off the computer would go like an AI, synthesizing and riffing on past superhero movies to make a new one. But of course, it wouldn't be all that original because it's simply drawing on other previous movies, and it would be extremely derivative. And I think what the computer would come out with is a film that would feel not entirely unlike Blue Beetle. In fact, that's exactly what Blue Beetle feels like to me. An approximation and an amalgam of similar works. I don't remember ever seeing a film that was just so generic. In the case of Blue Beetle, it feels like a facsimile of Ant-Man, Iron Man, and Spider-Man, all thrown into the same pot and given a good stir. Lately, I've remarked on Disney and Marvel's recent financial failures at the box office, but they're not alone. Things haven't been all that rosy at Warner Brothers either. The recent DCEU films have also failed to reach their projected heights. The Flash had a production budget that was over $200 million. It pulled in just $268 million total worldwide gross. That means the film did not break even because we haven't even factored in the film's promotional marketing budget. But the copy and paste generic superhero movie Blue Beetle performed even worse. It had a relatively modest budget by comparison to many big movies these days, just $104 million. And I think it actually still has some great CGI in there, but the film grossed only $121 million worldwide, which means it was a massive failure. Neither of these DCEU films were even close to being profitable. A big Hollywood blockbuster these days needs to make back at least 3 times its production budget in order to turn a profit. So we have to ask, where does this leave the superhero movie genre right now? Well, 2023 might very well be remembered as a kind of turning point for the genre, because it might be remembered as being a disastrous year for superhero films at the box office. The MCU is in steep decline, and the DCEU is going through a period of transformation that, in my opinion, doesn't appear to be going so well. I thought The Flash was a very weak film, but perhaps its biggest misstep was its multiverse plot device that was used to effectively erase the Ben Affleck version of Bruce Wayne/Batman so that he's no longer part of the DCEU. And we already know that Henry Cavill won't be coming back as Clark Kent/Superman. And I think they were probably the 2 best elements of the DCEU as it was prior to The Flash. So, unfortunately, this means the Zack Snyder, Snyderverse interpretation of the DCEU is effectively over. And so, in my view, right now, both the DC and Marvel cinematic universes appear to be in a bit of disarray. Added to that, you've got the growing audience fatigue and burnout with superhero movies. And it looks like, I suppose, the law of diminishing returns has finally set in for the genre, which was probably inevitable at some point. We were going to reach a saturation point, and people were just going to start tiring of seeing so many big superhero movies. Of course, no doubt, there will be some great superhero movies in the future, and I'm sure very financially successful ones. But the extraordinary superhero movie period we've lived through over these past 14, 15 years since the first Iron Man movie, that appears to have come to an end. And perhaps studios should be focusing now on scaling back production on these types of films and striving for quality over quantity. Now, wouldn't that be wonderful? Anyway, guys, I'll wrap this video up here. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.